All right. Hello, hello. If anybody's in chat, could you let me know how the audio is? I'm playing with my mic a little bit. Just get it in a reasonable location. Okay. Hello, hello, hello. Thanks, Matt. Appreciate it. Oh, they've got the room up already too. Wonderful. Don't look. I mean, I guess you could, but be really uncouth of you. Okay. Cool. Because I'm not logged in, as far as I know, because I'm not logged in, I can't open Twitch chat in OBS, so I just have the Twitch stream open on my side monitor. So that's how I'll be looking at chat. Can I pop it out? Be kind of nice. Oh, I can. Okay, pop out chat. Perfect. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, I don't think I'm actually built for commentary all that much. I don't think I'm particularly good at it, but I guess that's not really the point, right? Hello, AJ. Oh, are you gonna watch while while doing your making your PBJs? Okay. I guess I can try and pull up the their teams really quickly. So they're in pothole, I know, and I do know that Ali was actually first in our. Did you say the loaf of bread is moldy? AJ. Ali was the top of our power rankings. Has a very strong sand team. Grabbed Hippo somewhat early, if I recall. Oh. Alright, we're gonna randomize. Oh, that's the music. Alright, we're spectating from Ryan's POV. Grab Hippo, grab Mega Chomp. Pretty neat. Whereas Ryan, looks like today has brought Arrow. I believe this is Mega Arrow. I can double check. This is correct. Yep. Normal Clefable. No Drampa, which is Ryan's second Mega. Ali looks to have brought just the normal sand mode. Hippo, Chomp, you can spam Earthquakes next to Rotom, that all makes sense. Scizor is here as a good secondary Mega as well. Ampharos is interesting. Ampharos, this is not Mega Ampharos, this is just normal baby Ampharos. No Pidgeot either. So I think from Ryan's perspective, you've got to be prepping for the sand mode of like Hippo, Rotom Wash, Garchomp. Like I think that's just the most immediately threatening thing about Ali's team. Of course, there's more depth to it than that. But looking here, it looks like then you're probably going to want to rely on Arrow somewhat. Not so good into the Rotom, but is immune to ground type moves from the Hippo. Does generally well into Chomp as well. You actually get the Sand boost from the Hippo Sand as well. Decidueye is also an interesting choice. Rotom Salazzle comes out. Versus Hippo Clef. So immediately, I think the lead favors Ali somewhat. You've got, or maybe not somewhat, quite a bit. Salazzle's quite frail. I don't know how much like Tough Claw's dual Wing Beat does to the Salazzle, assuming it's Sash. Like, are you going to be able to get through the Sash? But Rotom threatens the Aerodactyl and Salazzle threatens the Clefable. There is Fake Out on the board. I can see something like Fake Out into the Aerodactyl, and the Rotom might try and get a little bit of chip into the Clefable. The Clefable's not really threatening to do all that much right here, I think. Salazzle does 4x resist Moonblast, Fairy moves in general, and then the Rotom will take presumably the Moonblast somewhat well. I'm assuming this is a bulkier Rotom. It could be Scarf. Who knows? Fake Out does come out, does go into the Aerodactyl. No Mega, interestingly. And then we do see Electro Web. This does kind of indicate that the Rotom might be Choice Scarf. And here comes Moonblast into the Salazzle. This is a 4x resist. Yeah, so if there's a Focus Sash, the Sash is gone now, but unfortunately, probably not all that much damage. I think the turn really went Ali's way. I think actually Choice Scarf Rotom might not be able to outspeed a Jolly max speed Mega Aerodactyl, since Choice Scarf Basket Legion can't, and then Rotom is only 3 points faster. Oh, no, Rotom is 86 speed, isn't it? It probably should be able to. So I'd imagine that this is maybe something close to like Timid max speed Rotom. Electro Web, get the Aerodactyl slow. It can. Thanks, AJ. Thanks for fact checking. Oh yeah, because Basket 78, Rotom's 86, I think. Yeah, but no choice to Mega the Aerodactyl, which is interesting, and this is the only Mega that Ryan has on his team. I don't know what holding the Mega does, really. Out comes Scizor, out goes Aerodactyl. Ratasaurus the Crocodile, is it Intimidate? It is Intimidate. So it actually manages to catch the Scizor on the switch, and that's quite nice. Electro Web, again, assuming it's Scarf, that's all it can do. Obviously no damage to the Crocodile. Clefable takes that reasonably well, drops its speed. Icy Wind. Okay, the Icy Wind is not completely unreasonable of a move generally, but it's interesting to see it come out in this position. The Rotom Wash now slowed, assuming it's Choice Scarf. The Scizor now also slow. Scizor threatens the Clefable, but otherwise also does not really appreciate sitting in front of Crocodile that much, especially at -1. AJ says, yeah, so Rotom will hit 151. Since Timid max speed 85s get 150, so Rotom Timid max gets 151. You need 149 to outspeed Mega Aerodactyl. Salazzle comes back out. Clefable, feeling threatened, even in front of -1, Scizor comes into Mr. Rhyme. So we've seen all 4 from Ryan now at this point. Scizor does protect. We see Smackdown, actually, so that's actually super effective into the Salazzle. Assuming what Ryan wants to do is over the course of 2 turns, Smackdown into the Rotom, and then Earthquake it. We did not see the Fire Fang Crocodile, but the Scizor did protect. It might have protected because of Fire Fang as a possibility, but Ryan doesn't fall for it. If Ryan does have Fire Fang, now's the time to bust it out. Though there is Fake Out from the Salazzle available. Mr. Rhyme, I believe, also gets Fake Out, but Salazzle will have the faster Fake Out available right now. Let me check myself on Mr. Rhyme. Well, I guess we'll never find out. Knockoff does take the KO into the Salazzle. What item are we going to see in the item reveal? Focus Sash. Yep, this makes sense. Interestingly, we've seen... Oh, okay, Scizor's now at +1. After being intimidated, but +2 from the Sword Stance. So Scizor is actually feeling a lot better now. The speed drop maybe doesn't matter so much if you're going to just be spamming Bullet Punches, which actually hit 3 of Ryan's Pokemon for super effective. So the Scizor actually looking to be a little bit of a threat. Mr. Rhyme does get Fake Out, but it is slower than Salazzle. Rotom Wash comes back out. So basically, I think what Ali will be aiming to do here is just spam Bullet Punch into the Mr. Rhyme slot. That's super effective damage no matter what happens. Switches and regardless. And Rotom is going to pressure the Crocodile right now with a Hydro Pump. So if we just see Hydro Pump into Crocodile, very likely to be the first thing to move. And then just spamming +1 Bullet Punches into the other side. Scizor will Mega Evolve, so that probably indicates... Actually, it doesn't necessarily say that Chomp isn't in the back, since regular Chomp works fine as well. There's Bullet Punch. Is this Babiri Berry? It is. So it would have gotten the KO through the Babiri, but Babiri Berry sticks around. But Mr. Rhyme doesn't really do anything right now, does it? Hydro Pump into the Crocodile, does outspeed, does survive on 1. Is this Focus Sash? It is. Interesting. Crocodile, not too frail. You generally don't think of it as being so frail that you need the Focus Sash. But it does help it survive the Hydro Pump here. And we do see Encore, the Scizor, I see. So Ryan wanted to Encore it into Swords Dance, but alas, Bullet Punch comes out first. And now the Scizor was probably wanting to be clicking Bullet Punch anyways. So at this point, I think you've got a very safe Bullet Punch into the Crocodile. The Mr. Rhyme really doesn't threaten all that much back. You can Hydro Pump the Mr. Rhyme, it'll be enough for the KO. Even if the Hydro Pump misses the Mr. Rhyme, it's fine since you have Bullet Punches. Yeah, Scizor really did end up being a threat, since Ryan did bring 3 Steel Weeks, and then especially after seeing the Scizor go for Swords Dance Bullet Punch looking quite strong. So if the Crocodile did have Fire Fang, you probably wanted to do that earlier, but at this point now, there's no way to Fire Fang the Scizor before it Bullet Punches you. Other than, I guess, Clefable. We do see Bullet Punch take the KO into Mr. Rhyme. This is presumably just going to be another Hydro Pump launched into the Crocodile, now Clefable. It does connect. Does enough damage. If you did want to land Fire Fang into Scizor, the way that you have to do it now is follow me into Fire Fang. The Crocodile can come back in here and get another Intimidate, bringing the Scizor back to neutral, but I fear it's a little too little too late. With this Rotom being able to just spam Hydro Pumps, it did a good amount of damage to Clefable. I don't think it's in range of a... Oh, interesting. Is this Fire Fang Aerodactyl, perhaps? The Rotom has been smacked down, but it did switch out after taking the first Icy Wind. So it is back up to neutral speed, and if it is Choice Scarf, it will be able to outspeed this Aerodactyl too. The Clefable looks like it's probably out of range of another Hydro Pump. But I don't really see either of these Pokemon threatening the Scizor all that much, unless the Aerodactyl has Fire Fang. But what's likely to happen here is Follow Me from the Clefable, redirects the Bullet Punch from the Scizor, that takes the KO, and then Rotom has the Hydro Pump clear into the Aerodactyl. Here comes Follow Me. We should see just Bullet Punch come out here from the Scizor. Regardless of which slot it originally was intended for, it is going to take the KO on the Clefable now. And if we... This is, I think, the first time we get to see the item confirmation on the Rotom. It is Choice Scarf. It does outspeed the Aerodactyl. It does get the KO. And I fear this is wraps for Game 1 for Ryan. Honestly, like, the game... Ryan did manage to keep the game going for a while, but I don't think he was ever really in control. The Scizor, after it got that Swords Dance up, really just ran away with it. I did think Crocodile probably needed to come out here. Or, I guess it doesn't really matter because the Rotom's going to outspeed regardless. So, in this situation, you really do just have to hope for Hydro Pump miss, and there's nothing else that you can do. So, Ryan will bring out the Crocodile. It is just at 1 HP left over from the Focus Sash. And it's obviously will drop to a Bullet Punch. So at this point, I think Ryan is smartly taking his time, considering the adjustments for Game 2. I really do think, depending on the item on this Typhlosion, that the Typhlosion might be inclined to come out. Ryan didn't even get to see the Allie's back Pokemon. So that does make future adjustments a little bit more difficult, knowing what to plan around. One thing that's kind of interesting is the Hippo is Sandstream and the Salazzle is Focus Sash. You are kind of inclined not to bring both of them to the same battle, or else you need to play a little bit smartly, because Salazzle will lose its own Focus Sash to the Sand. So there's a possibility that the last Pokemon was not Hippowdon. I don't see Ampharos being particularly good, just in general. And so it's probably not too unlikely that the last Pokemon for Allie was that Garchomp without intending to Mega Evolve it. Or maybe at least having some flexibility between Mega Evolving the Scizor and Mega Evolving the Garchomp. But at this point, Allie does wrap up Game 1. And Ryan, the Incineroar Professor, on the back foot. Down 0-1 in the set. So as far as potential adjustments, given how dominant Scizor was in this game, one might expect to see like the very obvious thing to do is bring the Typhlosion this time. But of course, Typhlosion does not do well into the Rotom Wash. It doesn't do well into the Garchomp. It doesn't do well into the Salazzle, kinda, sorta. It can be faked out because it is the normal Typhlosion, not the Hisuian Typhlosion. Not so great into Hippowdon unless you can get some chip on it first. So yeah, there's really, I think this is showcasing the strength of Ali's draft. Almost a constructed team, honestly, like just a standard team. The core Rotom Wash on a sand team, Rotom Wash, Fizzor, like Garchomp, like that's like, you know, 2013, 2014. Like just normal VGC. Yeah, Ali's draft, very strong. Not surprising at all that Ali ends up at the top of the unofficial power rankings. Oh, Ryan drops out in the battle. I can battle. I can battle if I want. I have a Rain Metagross team. I think it would do pretty well. Actually, I don't think I have damage for Scizor. Anyways. Yeah, so Ryan has really got to find a way to deny this Scizor, like Swords Dance into Bullet Punch, and there's only the one Steel Resist is the Typhlosion, which is not particularly bulky too. So the Scizor does manage to get up its Swords Dance and start spamming Bullet Punch. Really going to be a tricky ordeal. So for Ryan's sake, yeah, number one in the power rankings, proving you right. Yeah, definitely. Like this is going to be a tough team to crack. I can see this team going really, really far in the season. Very just fundamentally solid. So for Ryan's sake, I hope that there is a fire move somewhere on the team that's not the Typhlosion, since the Typhlosion does seem quite difficult to bring into this matchup, especially now having confirmation that the Rotom Wash is Scarf. If your own Typhlosion is also, you know, not Scarfed, then you also need to be Scarf and Timid, I believe. Or actually, you probably could be I think base Typhlosion is 100, so you could be modest and outspeed the Rotom, but yeah, since modest Typhlosion max speed hits 152, and then this Rotom will be 151 if it's Timid. Max, which it likely is to outspeed the Aerodactyl. Okay. Yep, so after a little bit of thinking time, I think Ryan's really taken the time to collect himself, which I think is smart. Salazzle and Rotom lead once again from Ali, switching the sides this time. That's a little trippy. And the same leads here again. Aerodactyl Clefable. Knowing now that the Rotom is Choice Scarf, I think if Ryan has Protect on both of these Pokemon, Double Protect seems quite reasonable. Block the Fake Out. And then see what move the Rotom chooses to lock itself into. Salazzle, I imagine, does have Sludge Bomb to damage this Clefable, but it won't get the one-hit KO, surely. So I think the Clefable might be clear to just double protect this first turn, follow me the second turn, whatever attack the Rotom wants to go for away, and the Aerodactyl is free to perhaps Dual Wing Beak at the KO into the Sash Salazzle into that slot. Well, if it is enough for the KO. Aerodactyl does choose to Mega Evolve immediately. I don't even know if that's that good for Ryan after turn 2, though. This is Protect on the Aerodactyl. Do we see Protect on the Clefable as well? No. And immediately Fake Out into the Clefable, and this Hydro Pump into the Aerodactyl slot. So we see Ali trying to take advantage of the Choice Scarf on the Rotom, Fake Out the Redirector, and then get the Hydro Pump into the other slot. Ryan, I think, identifying that Clefable, if not for the Salazzle, is not super threatened. Well, at least it's not threatened for a knockout on this turn, especially with the Citrus Berry. I don't think Sludge Bomb plus Hydro Pump would do it, though it would leave the Clefable quite low. So it does try and get something off of the Clefable, but Ali targets the Fake Out into the Clefable this time. Hydro Pump misses the Clefable, Rock Slide comes out, does bring the Clefable down to Sash, does 38% to the Rotom. And so that's a lot of damage that Ali would have loved to have on the Clefable. And we actually see Encore come out. That's an interesting tech move from the Salazzle. Clefable was likely going to be clicking follow me anyways, so I don't think Ryan really minds all too much just having another turn to follow me and Rock Slide. That's reasonable damage into the Rotom. 2 more will get it. And with Hydro Pump missing this past turn, Clefable is actually probably not in danger of being knocked out this turn either. I think the only way that that could happen is if Hydro Pump... Actually, I think it might be, because Hydro Pump will come into the Clefable. I don't think it will put it in range of Citrus Berry, but probably does put it in range of Sludge Bomb. If the speed order were the other way around, Sludge Bomb could go out first, proc the Citrus Berry, and put the Clefable out of range of the Hydro Pump. But I do think that because the Rotom is Scarfed, well, I guess the Rotom, is scared enough to want to retreat. Garchomp does come out. We see a double switch. Is this Scizor? It is Scizor. So we could probably see here a Follow Me and Rock Slide. Rock Slide will not do nearly any damage to either of these Pokemon. Tailwind comes out actually to try and get the Clefable faster than the Salazzle. Perhaps that you can Moonblast the Salazzle, or you can double the Rotom next turn with a Moonblast plus a Rock Slide. But actually, Ali has a lead. Oh, sorry, AJ. I've not been reading the marks. I guess we'll see him. We'll see him around the next time. Might be. On this turn, I think if the Aerodactyl does have Ice Fang or Fire Fang tech, like this is the time that you want to see. But we did see Rock Slide, Tailwind, Protect already, and so there's only a slot for one of Ice Fang or Fire Fang. Rotom does come out. Aerodactyl does Protect. Clefable switching into Crocodile is somewhat telegraphed, and oh my gosh, Ali gets this turn incredibly correct. So the Scizor now is at +1. It's ready to start clicking Bullet Punches. Aerodactyl surely is in range of +1 Bullet Punch. Rotom here is threatening the Crocodile once again. I think Ryan's strategy is Smackdown into the Rotom is just a little bit too slow. The fact that it takes 2 turns to do it, and this Rotom is outspeeding you and clicking Hydro Pump, I just don't think it really works without a Hydro Pump miss, basically. And even then, you're spending 2 attacks to get, Smackdown, chip into Rotom, plus EQ, chip into the other guy, maybe get the Rotom KO'd, it just feels a little slow to spend 2 turns doing that when you've got potentially a boosted Scizor in the other slot. So now at this point, I think Ali might be in position to just run away with this game again. Aerodactyl does switch out for the Clefable. This Clefable, likely to be unaware, still will not appreciate taking a Bullet Punch from the Scizor. Scizor does choose to Mega Evolve, so Ali does have just essentially itemless Garchomp. Bullet Punch into the Clefable, 95 down to 35, 60%. Citrus Berry will put it exactly up to 60 again, so likely to be in range of another Bullet Punch depending on rolls. Knockoff into the Rotom. Does get the KO, actually. That Crocodile is quite strong. Did not well, I guess this Rotom can't be particularly bulky if it's heavily speed invested. We do get confirmation it's a Choice Scarf. We've known that already. I'll check for the marks. Salazzle the Chosen One. Birthday mark. At this point, this is the last turn of Tailwind for Ryan. Scizor is at +1 still. I can see Crocodile wanting to switch out, both to preserve its Sash and keep Intimidate in the back for the combination of Garchomp and Scizor. But it's really, Clefable, if you switch out the Crocodile, the Clefable on its own is not doing anything into this board. Given that it's in range of Scizor Bullet Punch, perhaps. Definitely in range of, Salazzle move plus Scizor move. So the best thing that the Clefable could do is just Moonblast the KO on the Salazzle, but I don't think Ali will let it happen. Especially with Fake Out active. So it's very likely to see we'll see some pivots from Ryan. Oh! No, actually. So this is Fake Out into Crocodile. It is. That's a Helping Hand wasted. Crocodile loses its Focus Sash. Clefable does survive the Bullet Punch. Is that... It is good, I think, that the Clefable survives. I don't think there's really anything you'd want to pre-switch in. The only thing I can see is if Ryan wanted the Clefable to drop and then have Scarf Typhlosion in the back. That's the only thing I think that could really like made the Clefable going down more beneficial for Ryan in this spot. But now Crocodile's lost its Focus Sash. The Salazzle is brought down to its Focus Sash. The Scizor still here, still boosted, still at 100%. Still does have super effective Bullet Punches into at least 2 of Ryan's Pokemon. It's really just looking like, you know, we took the scenic route to get back to essentially the same game state that we had last game. Salazzle does switch out into Garchomp. I think this is reasonable. You save Fake Outs, you let the Scizor, it kind of protects the Scizor a little bit more. Weeble, the Typhlosion is here. Okay, so if this Typhlosion is Choice Scarfed, perhaps it would have been nice actually for the Clefable to have been knocked out last turn. That would have been really fantastic for Ryan. But alas, probably... Okay, so the Typhlosion, presumably Choice Scarf, would have really been nice if the Clefable actually went down the last turn and Salazzle was still on the board, because then you could just spam Eruption. Eruption will obviously take the KO in the Scizor. The Scizor could spam could Bullet Punch into the Typhlosion to make the Eruption weaker, but the Salazzle is down at its Focus Sash, so the Garchomp would have probably switched in for the Salazzle, but it would have taken some chipped Earth Eruption damage, which now the Garchomp is fresh. Typhlo's Fire does... Yeah, it does look really... Yeah, I've thought this. Like, it's just like 2D. It's just like a little... Like wrapping paper. Like... like fake fire. You know, you put it on top of a fan. Some like little... Some tissue paper. Salazzle does come out for the... So it is not Choice Scarf Typhlosion. We do see Protect. I mean, it could be Choice Scarf, but... You know. Earthquake. Oh! Ali actually... wanting to take the KO on their own Salazzle to bring Scizor in. Perhaps expecting that the Typhlosion was Choice Scarf and would just stay in and try and get the KO on the Scizor. Interesting. Yeah, thinking that the Salazzle would have gone down to a Scarf Typhlosion Eruption anyways, to not minding the EQ there. Oh, that's my phone. I hope y'all didn't catch that. It's my friend. I'll have to call him back after this. Very interesting spot. The Scizor now at neutral? Actually, there's a shot that the Aerodactyl actually lives this, just Bullet Punch? Does it? Depending... The Aerodactyl, if the Scizor is Adamant Max Attack, the Aerodactyl needs at least a little bit of bulk investment to live a neutral Bullet Punch. Bullet Punch on its own to a no-bulk Mega Aerodactyl is a coin flip, 50-50. What an intense game. You see, like, Ryan thinking, you know, taking his time to decide who to bring out. Aerodactyl does come out. I hope for Ryan's sake that there is a little bit of bulk on this Aerodactyl. Because the Typhlosion is not Scarf, well, presumably not Scarf. Oh, there is Intimidate in the back, that's right. Actually, Typhlosion switching into Crocodile here just makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I really want this to be Scarf Typhlosion, because it's not like Typhlosion gets any moves. Like, it's just running Quad Fire if it's Scarf, right? So, or like Will-O-Wisp or something. So I really hope this is Protect on Scarf Typhlosion. That'd be so funny. That's like also not completely unreasonable, right? So if it is, then I can see Protecting the Aerodactyl, switch the Typhlosion into Crocodile. Getting Intimidate on both of these Pokemon is fantastic. Though it could backfire if the Scizor, if Ryan protects the Aerodactyl right now and the Scizor gets a Sword Stance off and then goes back up to +1, at which point you're definitely taking the KO on the Aerodactyl with a Bullet Punch the next turn. Did we learn what item Rhyme has? Nope. Rhyme, R-I-M-E, funnily. Scizor does protect. Typhlosion stays in. Rock Slide comes out. Really? Okay, so this is telling me that the Aerodactyl probably is not teched out for... Oh yeah, that's Babiri Berry. Yes, forgot. There is a flinch on the Garchomp, huge for the Typhlosion. Eruption, I think what Ryan was just hoping the Scizor wouldn't protect, getting the flinch off here. But then maybe you were in range of bullet. It's really hard to say. The Garchomp, though, taken low, it feels less and less likely that this Aerodactyl actually does have a Fang move for either of these Pokemon. It would have been fantastic 4 times into Garchomp with Ice Fang or 4 times into Scizor with Fire Fang. We do get confirmation that the Typhlosion is not Choice Scarf Protect. But what's... depending on the Garchomp move, maybe it's like, if it has a ground move, like Stomping, that's fine. But if it has, like, EQ, you're damaging your Scizor every time you click EQ, but EQ is your best way of hitting this Typhlosion now. What an interesting state. I'm actually, I think it's very cool that we've ended up in this much of like a very like positional, kind of very like deep, like game state in a draft match, which is very, very cool. At this point, I really expect to see Crocodile switch in for either of these Pokemon. Maybe Crocodile in for the Aerodactyl makes some amount of sense. And then hope that Bullet Punch plus EQ, or like Bullet Punch into the Aerodactyl and EQ. Hope that the Typhlosion lives -1 EQ from the Garchomp, and then you can get like Flamethrower or something into the Scizor. Scizor does protect. We don't see Crocodile come in. It's really solid, like waiting on this Intimidate. Once again, we've entered the Rock Slide Casino. Garchomp down. Will it flinch this time? Will it flinch this time? It was a double protect. Earthquake comes out. That will be the end of Typhlosion. And at this point, there might not be damage into the Scizor anymore. Yes, this was a double protect. The last turn was also Rock Slide into Eruption. So Scizor does get the double protect. No flinch on the Garchomp, so it didn't really, it stops the Scizor from taking Rock Slide and Earthquake damage, which actually might be quite important. Yeah, I kind of... Thanks, DJ. I kind of missed that it was double protect at first, since you know, each turn is just, you know, they're taking, or Ryan's taking their time to really think about their moves. Of course, that's not like a slight against Ryan at all. But it's a reminder that I need to stay a little sharp. I need to stay on top of on top of my game too. Surprise, no Tailwind Eruption. Yeah. I guess, like, what stops Tailwind Eruption? But then it's not like Ali's been going for the Bullet Punch anyways, so Ali either isn't max attack investment, or suspects that Ryan has some amount of bulk on the Aerodactyl. Because the Aerodactyl is in range... Well, it's a coin flip on Bullet Punch right now. Yeah, just Crook coming in just, like, really, like, would have made so much sense here. I can see, like, Crook switching for Aerodactyl, switching the Crook back into Aerodactyl, and then getting, like, double Intimidates down or something like that. Maybe that's too much. Maybe you don't need that. Yeah, and then Ryan... But then, I think, like, even if, like, Ryan... Like, Ali's playing as if Crook isn't going to come in, and Ryan isn't bringing the Crook in, you'd think that'd be good for Ryan. But I don't think the Aerodactyl... Spamming Rock Slide is really the best thing that you can be doing to take advantage of Ali's slightly passive play. 25 seconds left, Ryan. 25 seconds left, Ryan. You gotta click. You gotta click. Champions UI. You gotta click through Champions UI. Alright, I hope that there is Fire Fang on this Crocodile now. Dual Wing Beat into Garchomp. Probably enough to knock it out from this range, as long as the Hippos... Well, Hippo should survive... Hippodactyl. Yeah, Hippos should survive. Bullet Punch onto the Scizor is a -1. Bullet Punch comes out. We do see that Ryan actually does... That did, what, 58? So it's likely then that the Aerodactyl has at least a little bit of bulk to survive that. Rock Slide comes out. Ryan said his game is glitching, really. Uh-oh. There is a flinch on the Garchomp. There is a flinch on the Garchomp. We see EQ come out. That'll be the end of Garchomp. And at this point, that's good damage. Wow, how interesting. So, I think, actually, I mean, the Crooks got it. Oh, time's up! But Ryan... Oh, Ali won because Ryan's time... Oh, no! Oh, that was a winning spot for Ryan, too. It was a winning spot for Ryan because if you Bullet Punch the Aerodactyl, then Earthquake becomes single targets enough to take the KO on the Scizor. Oh, my gosh. Oh, Ryan, like, played himself into a great position at the end, and unfortunately, just the time... Oh, man. Let me check the... Game is not letting choose the... Oh, my gosh. Okay, I see we're having a discussion oh, in Discord to see what to do about this. Oh my gosh, Ryan he was just fighting this. Okay. Wow. Okay. So both commissioners I think were watching this match, which I think is fortunate. I'm glad we have the VOD of this will be up too. Wow. Yeah, Ali says I wonder why you kept sliding. Also, yeah. Yeah. Jackson says go to game 3. Okay. Can I suggest a power cycle by if we are gonna go to game 3, can I suggest a power cycle? Yeah. So, wait, Matson still felt 50-50. Does it feel like 50-50? I'm pretty sure Ryan just wins from this spot, no? Because the Scizor is at -1, it can take the KO into the Dactyl, but then it leaves the Crook open for like single target EQ, which I think the Scizor is in range of. And at -1, the Scizor, it's slower than the Crook. So I think if Ryan just double swings, like the Scizor can't get, like, for instance, Bug Bite into the Crook first. Unless it's got like a fighting move or something. Oh, 50-55. Oh, okay. Sorry. My B. Oh, Geist is replay game 2. I think that's fair. It's not fair to give Ryan credit for the turns he wasn't playing because it only benefits him. That's true. Replay game 2 is fair. Yeah, okay. So I guess both people will be working with a little bit of information that they didn't have, but I think it's the best that we can do in this situation. Okay. Alright. Power cycle up. Ryan's power cycling. Yeah, get everybody power cycling. Yeah, so it's possible. So was Rock Slide just the top move on Arrow, and that's why he kept sliding? It's just that's all it. Okay. 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 Yeah, what an unfortunate situation. Yeah, champion. It's cool that we've got a dedicated battle game. It leaves a lot to be desired. Thanks, Ilka. Okay, looks like both. Do I need to use like official stream verbiage? Both trainers, are power cycle in their switches. A big Pikachu is watching. What did you say? Tommy Pickles. Hello, Tommy Pickles. That's true. Big Pikachu is here. Yeah, both trainers. I can't say EVs either, right? Depending on how it's trained. What is a turn down instead of EVs? I believe I think it might just be stat points. It's either like stat points or training points or something. Okay, looks like we've resolved the issue, and we will be going back into game 2. AJ, how's your PB&J? See, I'm putting off my lunch for this. You ran away to go get your PBJ. Run it back. Don't have to repeat leads or Pokemon or anything. AJ says, it was delicious. I'm glad for you. I hope it wasn't particularly moldy. Okay, well, I guess we are on as fresh of a game 2 as you can get. Man, I'm like sniffly, my allergies are acting up, I really want to blow my nose, but that's like super unprofessional. Particularly. Yeah, I mean, little bit of mold never killed anybody, right? It's like blue cheese. Oh, I'm not, it's just allergies for me. I take my allergy meds at night, so that they have time to kick in while I'm sleeping. But allergies they're real acting up. I would have thought they would have been fine since we've been getting a lot of rain. And rain kind of helps somewhat since it puts the pollen on the ground. If you use a tissue, I'll clip it. Thanks, Ben. You and Aaron are sick as of Thursday. Oh no. Oh, so you guys were just playing like an illness match just earlier. Okay, I should talk about Pokemon. Okay, 3 seconds, 2 seconds. Okay, I hope that's actually them taking their time to think and not another game error. Hippowdon and Scizor. Hippowdon does come out for this game. We haven't seen Hippowdon yet. This probably means Salazzle was the Pokemon that was dropped, you know? And the same leads come out for Ryan. This is not Ben. This is not Ben? Is Tommy Pickles not Ben? Is this actually... Is this... What? Is Tommy Pickles not Ben? It's Jessup? Oh, Jessup is Tommy Pickles? Oops. Shows what I know. Alright, what's up, Jessup? Long story. Okay, yeah, sure. I'll hear you out at some point. Different pickle. Okay, I should talk about Pokemon, huh? So, Hippowdon being a change is interesting. Aerodactyl actually does get special defense boosted. Don't think it matters right now. It'll matter for when the Rotom comes out later, I guess. Aerodactyl comes out. Mega Aerodactyl. Scizor is threatening Bullet Punch into both. And also is not particularly threatened right now unless there happens to be Fire Fang on the Aerodactyl, which we did not see across any of the games. Helping Hand comes out. Helping Hand? I hope this is Helping Hand. Like, is it Helping Hand Fire Fang? It is. There is Fire Fang. Down goes the Scizor immediately. I guess Helping Hand is necessary, huh? I'm sure this was calced, but there we go. There goes the Scizor. I mean, it is Tough Claws boosted, but Scizor and 4 times, but it is bulky. I trust that Ryan's done the calc on this and knows. In comes Rotom. I assume that Garchomp is in the back, maybe Sandville, but at this point, yeah, I mean, we've seen how well Scizor did for Ali both previous games, and it just immediately knocked out in turn 1. So the Rotom obviously is threatening good damage into the Aerodactyl, but it is special defense boosted. I can see this Rotom maybe having discharged as well with the like for Disquake stuff with Hippowdon and Chomp. Aerodactyl maybe a little incentivized to switch out right now. It's threatened by the Rotom and is been yawned. Yep, out goes the Aerodactyl. In comes Weeble. Weeble the Typhlosion is in. Hydro Pump does miss Weeble. That would have been the KO. That would have been so fantastic for Ali. So this game really not going Ali's way. Hippowdon here. Deciding to click Yawn. Alright, trying to put Ryan into the Yawn blender. Maybe there's Sand Tomb on the Hippo. But man, missing the Hydro Pump into the Typhlosion, surely that would have been a knockout. The Icy Wind comes out, meaning the Typhlosion actually outspeeds the Rotom now at this point. It's not like the Typhlosion is threatening the Rotom that much anyways, but you know, the Hippo could be in danger of a big Fire-type move. I really assume that Garchomp is the last for Ali, and maybe the Garchomp is Sandvale. I can see Hippo switching into Garchomp right now, saving Sand for the back, to get up another Sandstorm later in the game. Though you would have to spend 2 turns with Rotom and Garchomp on the field with Rotom spamming Hydro Pump. in order for the sand to actually come up after. Maybe this Garchomp is Sandveil, who knows. Out goes Clefable, not wanting to get slept. In comes the Aerodactyl. This Rotom is in a really fantastic spot, but we see Eruption does a good amount of damage to the Powdon. That's definitely in range of a 2 KO. Rotom Hydro Pumps and misses again. That would have been such good damage to have into the Aerodactyl. Heavy Slam into the Aerodactyl. I don't know how heavy Aerodactyl is. That is a coin flip. So, man, Rotom really doesn't put on his glasses this game and misses a crucial Hydro Pump into the Typhlosion, which would have taken the knockout. Misses a crucial Hydro Pump into the Aerodactyl, which would have gotten the knockout in combination with Heavy Slam from the Hippowdon. But now, there's really nothing stopping just Rock Slide and Eruption. Garchomp will come in, but I mean, it's resist both, but it won't appreciate taking both bits of damage. Protect on the Hippowdon. Knowing that this Rotom has been speed dropped from the Icy Wind means Rock Slide and Eruption should be enough to take the KO here. Garchomp is looking to be in a pretty good spot after this turn, coming in without having taken any damage, but there is presumably, well, there's a whole Clefable in the back. Which the Garchomp will not deal with particularly well. And presumably Crocodile is in the back too, which can just get Intimidates into both of these Pokemon. Powdon's leftovers come out, but I don't think that's going to save it from Rock Slide plus Eruption. When does Flamethrower become stronger than Eruption? The Flamethrower is 90 base power, so 90 over... At 60%. 60% then. Well, then there's a spread reduction from Eruption as well, so a little bit more than 60%. I think it's like 70 high 70s%. We do see Protect from Aerodactyl. Is this Protect from the Typhlosion as well? Yep, so I think this is smart from Ryan. This is the last turn of Sand. So in case the Garchomp... Or no, what am I talking about Garchomp? I just look at the screen. Look at the screen. Salazzle's out. We do know this Salazzle is Focus Sash. This Protect in front of Fake Out in front of the Salazzle. That is a small Garchomp. Very small Garchomp. So at this point, I think what Ryan would be angling to do is just Rock Slide, get the Salazzle down to Focus Sash, put the Hippowdon in range of like Flamethrower, Overheat, or whatever the Typhlosion might have. Maybe the Salazzle flinches or something. But I don't think you can afford to click Eruption. Well, maybe you can click Eruption because Rock Slide plus Eruption will take the KO on the Salazzle no matter what. Or is this just Rock Slide plus single target move into the Hippowdon? Tailwind, I think, is also reasonable. Scorching Sands. Ooh. I don't know that I like that much. I think you just either single target fire move the Hippowdon, or you Eruption. Because if you Rock Slide Eruption, the Salazzle will be down at Sash. It'll die to weak Eruption even too if the Typhlosion were to get Sludge Bombed first. And I mean, not that it really matters, because now just EQ Rock Slide is fine. Or the Salazzle just protected, so if you really want the KO on the Salazzle, you can Fire Fang, it's more accurate. But yeah, the Crocodile just gets to spam EQ out for the rest of the game. Yeah, I don't think there's really a way for Ali to get this. I mean, I think Ali can prolong the game somewhat if they want to use the time to think about Game 3. But yeah, I think Scorching Sands, I don't really like it. One, because like, I mean, obviously, the way that the turn played out, it would have been nice to have clicked Eruption or some sort of fire move. But also now you reveal that you have it. Which, I mean, it's not like Scorching Sands is going to be your move of choice into anything except for the Salazzle or the Ampharos. But in any case, I mean, it'll work out. EQ here, it's enough for the KO into the Salazzle. Hippo is definitely not going to be able to 1v3 this setup of this arrangement of Pokemon. In comes Yawn into the Aerodactyl. Very easily, the Crocodile can just knock off the Hippowdon and switch the Aerodactyl into Clefable. And there is nothing that Ali can do at this point. We do have a no forfeit rule for the league, so we'll see who gets the KO. I think the Hippowdon probably lives a knockoff from here. So it's likely that Crocodile will get the KO over these next two turns. Knock off Hippo lives. Heavy Slam. I guess to see how much damage this does to the Clefable. 80 it down to 40. 48 is in range of another, but it's going to proc Citrus, go up to 65. So out of range of another Heavy Slam. And at this point, the Hippo is in just range of another knockoff. And that'll be game 2 for Ryan. So what a turnaround, honestly. It's really just that turn 1, immediately getting the Fire Fang into the Scizor, when we saw how big of a threat Scizor was to all of Ryan's team before. DJ asks, are we doing tiebreakers based on knockouts, or is that just for stat? I think that is a tiebreaker. It is a tiebreaker, eventually. I think differential is probably the first tiebreaker. And then this is, and then I think like individual Mon KOs. Well, individual Mon KOs is your differential, right? So. Yeah. Very unlikely that like individual Pokemon knockouts will have to be considered as opposed to the collective for the whole team. Okay, they are in the battle. I am gonna go blow my nose, but I'm gonna do it out of range of the mic so y'all won't hear. So I'm gonna leave this up, and I will be back momentarily once I see that I'm in team preview. Okay, there it is. I'll be back. Okay, we do see the run back of the same leads from game 2. Rotom and Hippo from Ali, and then Aerodactyl and Clefable once again for Ryan. Actually, sorry, this is not game 2 leads. So Rotom came in. Scizor was first, and then got knocked out by Fire Fang, and then Rotom came in. But now Rotom comes out immediately. Looks a lot better. I can see Discharge Heavy Slam looks quite solid for Ali if Ali's got Discharge. Aerodactyl's really not threatening like much damage here. It does Mega Evolve immediately. And does Protect. So Rotom does choose to lock itself into Hydro Pump. It does connect into the Clefable this time. Rotom does find its glasses. This is out of range of Heavy Slam. Rotom! Oh my gosh, Rotom avoids the Icy. That's huge. That's huge. Now the Rotom is faster than the Aerodactyl still this turn. And then Hippo does get Heavy Slam into the Clefable. What a call. This won't be enough for the knockout. And it'll be out of range of... Well, still out of range of Sand, and Citrus is going to put it out of range even more. But at this point, I mean, Aerodactyl still really isn't threatening much. I mean, maybe it gets a Tailwind up this turn or something like that, but missing the Hydro Pump into the... or missing the Icy Wind into Rotom is a disaster, so... now the Aerodactyl outspeeds. So, I guess you can follow me, but then you're really just... You're letting the Clefable go on turn 2. And that clears the path for Scizor in the back to start bullet punching whatever it wants to, without fear of redirection. So what a turn of fortunes. Ryan really getting lucky with the Hydro Pump misses last game. Yeah, and the Broken Glasses onto Clefable now. Scizor comes in, very safe switch in. Given that it's very unlikely Fire Fang comes into the Rotom slot. Tailwind does come out. Follow me from the Clefable. Ryan says, I'm fine with you taking the Clefable knockout this turn. In comes Yawn. Interesting. So obviously Ali is going to have to play around Fire Fang coming out this turn. But I think what can happen here is that the Scizor can switch into Garchomp. Because it's unlikely the Clefable stays in and tries to Moonblast that slot. I mean, the Scizor either protects or switches, like, surely. Maybe you try and greet a Swords Dance, but like I don't see any reason to when you know that the Aerodactyl has Fire Fang. You know, it's a little scary. Clefable does switch out, so the Garchomp coming in would be fine. It's not in danger of damage from the Aerodactyl at all. Intimidate does come into the Scizor. Scizor does switch out. This is either Garchomp or Rotom. Maybe Garchomp. Yeah, I think switching into Rotom is just puts you down 2 turns of tempo because the Rotom is on the field already. Rock Slide does come out, does very negligible damage to both the Garchomp and the Hippowdon. And this should be another Yawn, I believe, from the Hippo into the Aerodactyl slot. So Aerodactyl now not feeling super happy. The Intimidate does actually not catch the Garchomp because there was a Scizor on that side of the field, which switched out after Clefable. So I guess we know Clefable is faster than the Scizor. I don't think it matters all that much, because the Scizor is clicking priority moves anyways. So this might just be very bulky Scizor. Max HP, max attack, or something like that, with Bullet Punch spam. But Aerodactyl not feeling super comfortable, and this Garchomp is at neutral. Ali can actually choose to Mega Evolve the Garchomp and get the Sand Force boost now. Instead of choosing to Mega Evolve the Scizor, which is an option. It does make the Garchomp slower than the Typhlosion that Ryan kind of likely has. Oh, well, what do I know? In comes Decidueye. So with Decidueye coming in... Earthquake here, I think that's reasonable. No Mega's also reasonable. I think Ali's a lot more incentivized to Mega Evolve the Garchomp now. Because now it's revealed that... Well, actually, it's hard to say. I think both are fine. The Scizor... There's no Typhlosion this game. So the only damage into Scizor, other than like triple arrow spam, I guess, is like... is Fire Fang from the Aerodactyl. And if the Scizor ever manages to get into a position where it's boosted, and you can just Bullet Punch the Aerodactyl first, then the Scizor really isn't in damage fear of anything. But no Typhlosion also means that Garchomp can Mega Evolve and not worry about the drop in speed, putting it under a speed tier that it would have been useful for this game. Garchomp already basically outspeeds everything. Maybe depends on the Crocodile speed, I guess. It is Focus Sash, so maybe probably has max speed investment. There's a Protect on the Garchomp. The Hippowdon stays in the face of a Grass type and Knockoff, which gets rid of its recovery in the leftovers. Triple Arrows comes out. 70 down to 33, that's 37%. Gets the defense drop. Life Orb on the Decidueye. Is there a flinch? No flinch. Heavy Slam comes out. That is not so much damage. I guess that's the last turn of Tailwind. The Garchomp is faster than both of these Pokemon. Sand does expire. I don't know how valuable Sand is. Honestly, you maybe don't even want to set up Sand so that the Rotom threatens the Aerodactyl a little bit more. But I guess if the Decidueye is in range of Dragon Claw here, then you can Dragon Claw the Decidueye before it gets a Grass move into the Hippowdon slot. Maybe you can Dragon Claw the Decidueye and switch the Hippowdon to Rotom, if you really want to reset the Sand for later. There is Earthquake here, just hitting its Ali hitting their own Hippo. Really wants to get the Hippo off the field. Actually does take the knockout on both, which I think is fine. At this point, I think it's very likely the Scizor is the mega target now. But no more Sand means that the Rotom is going to do a lot better into the Aerodactyl. In fact, the Rotom looks pretty well positioned now. And there is a Decidueye, but everything else that you have threatens the Decidueye quite well. Out comes Aerodactyl, out comes Rotom. So, I don't know that Keybolt is a KO into the Aerodactyl. Can I see how much health the Pokemon in the back have? Is that a thing that I can find anywhere? I guess not. But the Clefable is quite low. It's already had its Citrus Berry proc. I think it's at like 40, 30, 40% or something like that. But I think you can Hydro Pump into the Aerodactyl, and then Dragon Claw the Decidueye. And the Decidueye probably likely to be... well, it depends on if it's in range of Dragon Claw, I guess. Electro Web comes out, misses the Aerodactyl. That would have been fantastic damage to have, but I think Electro Web into Dragon Claw may be enough damage for the Decidueye. So we do see two 95% inaccurate moves come out. Actually, it's still faster than the Garchomp. Oh, no, because, of course, you missed the Electro Web. Garchomp's still faster than Decidueye. Decidueye at 2. Leaf Blade comes out into the Rotom. It takes the KO. The Decidueye will drop to its own Life Orb, but now there's just Aerodactyl and Clefable. Oh, man. Okay. But Tailwind gets up, so... I don't think okay, so the Electro Web doesn't matter for this turn in terms of speed interactions at the very least, because the Aerodactyl, like the Garchomp would have declawed the Decidueye, it would have lived. Decidueye still would have gotten the Leaf Blade off, but now Aerodactyl is still faster than the Garchomp even after Tailwind expires. But yeah, Garchomp is looking good at this point. So I think you can... Ali can protect both. To stall a turn of Tailwind, and then also scout for Protects on Ryan's end. But I think Bullet Punch into Clefable. Once the Clefable goes down, then the Garchomp will beat the Aerodactyl. But I think, yeah, this has to be double Protect for Ali, because, I mean, Clefable will have Moonblast, that's good damage into the Garchomp, so the Scissor's job is now to KO the Clefable, and it needs to do that, like, before it gets Fire Fanged by the Aerodactyl. Yeah, so Mega Garchomp here makes sense. Very cool that we get to see Ali like rep the flexibility of their team. This is Bullet Punch, no protects, all around. There goes Clefable. At this point, Garchomp has the game. There goes Rock Slide. Not any damage into either of these Pokemon. Garchomp doesn't reveal the Iron Head. Not enough for the KO, but now the Aerodactyl is in Bullet Punch range. Oh, Ali DC? Oh, but Ali, you've won. It's okay. Okay, I will let other people deal with that. But it's okay. I think as long as your top moves are attacking moves, you'll be fine. Yeah. Okay. Interesting. I think there was tons of stuff that I probably missed in this game. Like, just in terms of the complexity of... This was a really good match. Really good match. I'm glad I got to watch it live. I am a little sad that I had to cast it because it just started raining and I wanted to go outside today. But alas. I see. Yeah, great set, great set, great set. Okay. I was gonna slot one EQ through here on Scissor. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Yeah, there's just a lot of dancing around. I think that the main dynamic across the set was Scizor. Basically, was the match was gonna live or die by Scizor. For the Manatee chain. Yeah, so yeah, Scizor basically, if like in game 1, Scizor managed to get a Swords Dance off, then Bullet Punch really just clears out the whole thing, Ryan's whole team. Game 2, Ryan immediately, well, real game 2, Ryan immediately takes care of the Scizor with Fire Fang. Gets the Scizor on turn 1, and at that point, Ali really can't use her good Steel type offense into Ryan's team. Game 3, Scizor gets protected a little bit better, comes in, managed to Bullet Punch the right targets at the right time, and Garchomp is able to clean up. So yeah, good game, both fun for the viewers to have 4 really well played games in a set. True, this is, you can tell that this is just like a real well thought out set between both players. Privileged to watch for sure, but alas. It is raining. Okay. I don't know if should I do an interview thing or yeah, well, yeah, I guess. I'm already here. It's already too late for me to go outside. If either of the players are around, maybe we should solicit in Discord too. If either of the players are around and want to do a post-match interview, I should prep interview questions. Ryan is responded. Okay. Okay, cool. Let me figure out how to set this up. I need to hop in VC. All right. Hello, Ryan. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you're loud. Okay. I wonder. Can you say something real quick? Just give me some noises.
Hello.
All right. Okay. Yep. I see you going through my desktop audio on OBS. I just hope that people on stream can hear you too. I don't know if anyone's on stream.
Let's hope.
I'm not gonna check. Okay. Well, what a match, Ryan. What a match. Obviously, I think
truly one of the matches of all time.
Oh, for sure. I mean, like, so you're going in. You are. I think you were excited about playing Ali, who was ranked first in the power rankings, right? I think you seem to enjoy being the underdog in any given match. I kind of thrive off that energy. Going to the team, looking at Ali's team, what did you kind of identify as like Pokemon or threats that you wanted to take care of, and like what were you scared of? What were you planning to do to take care of them and such like that?
Yeah, so I mean the main threat, as you definitely saw in all of those games, was Scizor.
Yep.
That was the main threat that I wanted to take care of, and my game plan going into the set was getting rid of it with Fire Fang, with Mega Aerodactyl.
Yep.
Helping Hand always picks up that kill.
Do you need Helping Hand?
Yes, you do need Helping Hand.
That's very
surprisingly. I also had some bulk investment on it to live neutral Bullet Punch just in case she did go for it, and then I also had a couple of other techs for it, like the Babiri Berry that we saw in Game 1, and also Typhlosion was charcoal and was able to take care of it with Eruption or Heat Wave, depending on whether or not I was low. The other main threat I saw was obviously the Garchomp. That one was a massive threat. That's why Mr. Rhyme had to come into the matchup.
I see.
Freeze Dry is good into basically her entire team except for Scizor.
Yeah.
Like it hits everything except for Scizor, obviously.
Yeah.
And then I had Encore just in case she did go for Tricker. It goes for SD and then doesn't go for Bullet Punch.
Yeah.
But yeah, the main thing was trying to stop Scizor from getting set up, which I wasn't able to in Game 1, but Game 2 and 3 I prevented it pretty well.
Right.
That was about it.
So you led Aerodactyl Clefable every game, so that was just to catch Scizor with Helping Hand Fire thing then. You were just doing that as like hedging basically.
Yes, and the main thing was if she led Rotom, I had Icy Wind to try to lower the speed of the Rotom so I could outspeed and go for Rock Slide or Tailwind or whatever.
Yep. Yeah, we saw that didn't really work out in the Game 3, unfortunately, or Game 4 really. Unfortunately,
Game 4, yeah.
Missing Icy Wind into the Rotom was but then Rotom, I guess, gave it back with an Electro Web miss later. That didn't end up mattering, but
yeah, I mean, in Game 2, it just didn't hit those hydro pumps.
Also true. yeah. Which also kind of worked well for you. So we saw kind of like down your roster. You also had Decidueye that you brought this week as well. So you dropped the Golurk, you dropped the Drampa. Obviously Crocodile is looking quite good for like Intimidate and things like that. That makes sense. Decidueye, are you bringing it mostly just like as another Rotomancer, basically?
It was another Rotomancer. It also it does a lot of damage to Hippowdon. And like the other mainly it just does a lot of damage with Triple Arrows and Leaf Blade. we didn't get to see it, but I also had Sucker Punch, which Leaf Blade into Sucker Punch with Life Orb does pick up Mega Garchomp, which is very nice.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Nice. I guess as far as I don't want to spend like too much time thinking about game 2. The one, unfortunately, we had some technical difficulties. So how were those turns all just like timing, like when you just kept on sitting there and just click? On your end, did you get to see what was happening? Like just rock slide.
I did get to see what was happening. It just said that it like timed me out.
I see.
And it's like it chose your moves for you, which were my top 2 moves. Which fortunately, rock slide was kind of popping off.
Yeah, it did well.
Those flinches.
Yeah, you got 2 out of 3 flinches in that end game there. That was quite nice. Did you at some point, I think in game 1, you had Crocodile on the board in part of like Garchomp, Scizor, and Matthew in chat was like, this is where you bust out the Fire Fang Crocodile. Did you have Fire Fang on the Crocodile too?
No, I didn't.
Protect, Earthquake, knock off Smackdown, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. So Smackdown, I assume, is just another Rotom Wash tech.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It was just to catch Rotom Wash. The main 2 sets I was afraid of were like bulky Will-O-Wisp.
Yep.
And timid Scarf, which is what she ended up running.
Yep.
If it was the bulky set, I could lead Crocodile plus Crocodile plus Typhlosion and go for Smackdown and Scorching Sands.
I see. Okay, yeah, I didn't catch that actually. I thought that you were just like Smackdown into EQ, use the same mon to do it over the course of 2 turns, and then that feels a little slow.
I was gonna say it is slow, but Scorching Sands plus Smackdown, if it's max HP, it has a chance to kill, but it's not guaranteed. But it does get a lot of damage on that slot if she doesn't expect the Scorching Sands.
Very cool. Yep. Okay, cool. I mean, it was cool to see. I think Ali mostly just on each of her Pokemon had very expected moves, expected sets. I think her team is just like fundamentally solid enough that she can do that. But obviously we got to see some really cool stuff out of your team building. I think when you're coming into it, playing such a strong team, I think it kind of encourages some creativity. So I'm glad that we got to see that over 4 games, basically.
Yeah, that was probably one of the hardest matchups I had to prep for. Like I was kind of looking at the rest of my schedule and was like, okay, these mons can definitely come to this matchup. And this week it was kind of hard to figure out which mons wanted to come.
Yeah.
Like I had Drampa in the builder for a little bit to have like Cloud9 to turn off the sand for the
Garchomp,
Mega Chomp.
Yeah.
I had that in the builder for a little bit, but it just felt too slow, and I didn't really want to bring base Drampa. If I was bringing Mega Drampa, then like Garchomp just does too much damage to it.
Right.
So and Golurk, like in theory can come, but like it just doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, especially like with the Rotom, and you're just like losing damage trades, it looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, very cool. For the rest of the season, I'm sure that this is probably definitely one of your harder matchups. So even though it unfortunately ends in a loss, I think you're pretty happy to have made it as close as it was, and then give us some entertaining sets as well. I guess as the last thing before I let you go and before I let myself go, we'll do the official. I forget who was it. Who was commentating? I think it was Craig. We'll do the official stream thing. Any shout outs? Shout out your Pokemon, shout out your friends, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I want to shout out JJ. I sent him this paste that I was thinking about running, and he helped me kind of like talk over what each of these things are doing, and nice. I kind of looked over his a little bit, so shout out to him.
Okay.
And shout out Fire Fang.
Yeah, that really.
And Rock Slide.
Fire Fang and Rock Slide too. Yeah, they both really put in a lot of work. Aerodactyl really got to showcase itself this set, which is really neat. All right, cool. With that, Well, good luck with the rest of your season. Starting 0-1 maybe doesn't look so great on paper, but against the opponent and then knowing yourself as like a creative team builder player, I'm sure you'll be able to get through the rest of the season just fine. So
Yeah,
with
I
that,
mean, yeah, just tough matchup, but we'll bounce back. I know Jessup said he was not looking forward to playing me. I I was also kind of scared to see Jessup on my schedule because of how creative he is as a builder.
yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, shout out to the rest of my schedule, and hopefully I make it to top 8
all
in
right,
the conference.
yeah, definitely. Alrighty, well, thanks for the set. Thanks for stopping by. And we'll see you when I do.
Yep, thanks for casting.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
All right. I guess Ali's not going to be jumping in. That's fine. I also want to go and do things with my day. So, this has been a fun hour and 17 minutes. With that, I'm gonna dip. Let me just check when the next match is. I'll leave y'all with that. Next match is actually me. Come back at 8 p.m. Eastern time for me. I will actually probably be streaming on my own channel, my own YouTube channel, which I did last year too. I guess if some of the indie people want to stream it from there and too, they can. But I will be streaming my match, so I will suggest if you want to hear my POV as I'm playing, come along. And with that, I'm gonna end the stream now. All right, bye bye, friends.